So Chris, thank you so much for joining me here at GAIM Ops Cayman.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's great to be back. It's
Amazing.
been a while since I've been here, but it's a great event.
Amazing. So tell me more about the private fund operating models. Where do you see the most pressures?
Yeah, I see a lot of pressure and I see a lot of opportunity in going towards the wealth management market, whether it's a retailization of funds or providing private market funds to the independent wealth community, the wirehouse community. So there's a lot of different channels in which you can do that. There's alternative investment platforms, there's wirehouses, there's a lot of different ways that you can do that. Navigating that can be a challenging process, but there are firms out there that can help with that. So it's definitely, like I said, like fintech platforms and things like that can help a manager navigate.
Absolutely. And one of the biggest challenges is scaling at this stage. So where do you see most private fund managers get it wrong, and what can they do about that?
Yeah, I think with scaling, I think there's, again, I think there's a community of, the fund administration community, the technology, from within the ecosystem, whether it's the fund administrators, the custodians, the transfer agents, the fintech platforms like your Case, iCapital, Gridline. So there's a lot of technology that is helping to scale, especially as people are trying to access a broader market of potential investors.
Mm-hmm. And how do you see the governance expectation shifting for private fund managers?
Well, I think right now regulation is becoming slightly more lax, but I wouldn't I think if a political regime change, there might be a swing back the other way. So I think the challenge is just to kind of stay abreast of which way the wind is blowing at any given time, and make sure that you're working with your counsel and your compliance consultants to make sure that you're operating the way you need to. So I'd say that's probably one way to kind of address that challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, things could change in the next couple of years anyway. And which part of the private fund operating stack do you think needs the biggest amount of change?
Well, I just left a session on fund administration and AI, so I think that there are AI tools that could be extremely helpful. Gridline, the firm that I'm at right now, has an AI due diligence tool called AltComply that would allow investors to be able to perform due diligence on GPs and investment opportunities, more seamlessly and save enormous amount of time on their diligence efforts. So that's more from the investor side into funds. But I think from the GP fund side, I think there's I think AI is a significant trend. I don't think it solves every problem. I think there still needs to be humans in the loop, but definitely a significant trend. And I've seen interesting ways to vastly improve internal processes using Claude Code and co-work and things like that. So definitely a huge trend.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it really impacts everybody on a regulatory level as well. So how do you see that play out for private fund managers?
Well, I think there's a lot of, I'm just going to broadly call it technology innovation. I think there's a lot, tokenization and blockchain and AI. So I think the regulatory environment is friendly to those innovations, which is good. I think it's just with eyes wide open, that not every solution is perfect at this time. And so just being very careful about the solutions that you're considering and knowing the pros and cons, doing your proper due diligence on those tools and how they might or might not work for your use case.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris, thank you so much for joining me today.
All right, thank you. It's great to be here.